Let's make a creamy garlic Parmesan and chicken pasta using pre-cooked chicken for a super speedy dinner. Let's get started. First, get your pasta of choice boiling in some salted water. I'm making penne today. And no, I'm not going to film the boiling water. So boring. Then in a large skillet over medium heat, add half a tablespoon of butter and 1 teaspoon of olive oil. When that gets nice and bubbly, add your spices. This is 1 teaspoon crushed red peppers and a half teaspoon white pepper. Use less peppers if you don't like spicy food, but I love it hot. Stir the spices for a bit to unlock their flavor, and then add 5 cloves of minced garlic. Stir that for a minute so the garlic doesn't burn. And then add half a cup of chicken stock and 1 cup of heavy cream. Turn up the heat to medium-high and bring this mixture to a boil, and remember to keep stirring. It only takes a few minutes. Once it's boiling, add 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Lower the heat back down to medium and stir until the sauce starts to thicken. By now your pasta should almost be done, so drain that and save some of that pasta water to help thicken the sauce. Finish cooking the pasta in the sauce and the sauce will thicken up even more. I'm adding about a 1/4 cup of the pasta water to help smooth out the sauce. Add your cooked chicken of choice on top. I had these leftover grilled chicken breasts, but you can use whatever you have. Try it with rotisserie chicken, so good. Finish with some chopped fresh parsley and more of that grated Parmesan. As always, you can find the full printable recipe on my website. Today we're going to make Italian sausage and peppers pasta. This pasta has simple ingredients like hot Italian sausage, sweet bell peppers, tomato sauce, basil, and melty cheese. Let's get started. First, I'm going to mince 3 cloves of garlic. You could use a garlic press instead if you're more comfortable with that. Next, I'm going to slice up half a sweet onion and set that aside. Now I'm going to slice up my bell peppers. I like to use all the colors I can get. So this time I used a yellow, an orange, a green, and a red bell pepper. I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to slice up some fresh basil. I'm going to grab my large deep skillet and get that heating over medium-high heat. To that I'll add a couple of tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Once that's hot, I'll add the Italian sausage. I like to buy the Italian sausage in the trays like this. Not having to remove the sausage from the casings saves a lot of time. But if you can't find it, you can use the kind in the casings. Just remove the casings first and crumble it really well. My favorite is the hot flavor, but you could also use mild if you prefer. Now I'm just making sure to brown the sausage very well and crumble it into smaller pieces. Once that's looking nice and brown, I'm going to add the onion. Stir that around until the onion starts to get soft, and then we'll add the garlic. Now I'm going to clear some space in the center here and add a tablespoon of tomato paste. I'll let that tomato paste cook a little longer and get nice and dark and yummy. And now I'll add the bell peppers. Now I'm going to stir the peppers around for a little bit, and then I'll add the tomato sauce. This is 1 can of plain tomato sauce and 1 large can of whole San Marzano tomatoes. By the way, they don't need to be San Marzano tomatoes. I just really like them. I'm going to stir that around for a few minutes. Make sure you crush the tomatoes with your spatula. You don't want giant pieces of tomato in your pasta. Once everything is mixed together and all your tomatoes are crushed into bits, cover with a lid and cook for 10 to 15 minutes until the peppers are soft. Now let's make the pasta. We've got a huge pot of boiling water to which we'll add a big pinch of salt. Now I'll add the pasta. This is 12 ounces or 340 grams of penne. You don't need to use penne, you can use any short pasta. Cook your pasta according to the package directions. Once the pasta is fully cooked, you can add it to the sausage and peppers. Try to get it all in the pan and not all over the place. Mix all that together and then add your chopped basil and stir that in. Now I'll add some salt and pepper to taste. And that's it, you're basically done. This recipe makes 4 to 6 servings, depending on how hungry you are. Now I'm going to top with some grated cheese. To save time, I'm using pre-shredded cheese, but use whatever you like. And now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This pasta tastes even better the next day. It's one of my favorite leftovers to take for lunch. As always, you can find the link to the full printable recipe in the description box below. I want my umami. Let's make miso mushroom pasta. It has sautéed mushrooms, white miso paste, broccoli, lemon, fresh herbs, and tender orecchiette pasta. All that comes together in this beautiful creamy sauce that makes the most comforting dish ever. Let's get started. First, we'll get the pasta going. In a large pot of boiling unsalted water, add your pasta of choice. This is 12 ounces or 340 grams of orecchiette. Stir to keep the pasta from sticking. While that's cooking, let's make the mushroom miso sauce. In a large skillet, heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil over medium-high heat. When that's hot, add the mushrooms and cook until golden brown. I'm using cremini mushrooms, also known as baby bellows, but you can use any mushroom you like. Add some fresh black pepper. At this point, you're probably wondering, why haven't you added any salt yet? Get out! Well, my friend, we're adding miso paste later, and it's very salty. You can always add salt at the end if you want it saltier.
Delicious.
Once the mushrooms are nice and golden brown, add 1 diced shallot and 4 cloves of minced garlic. Stir until that becomes fragrant, and then add 2 tablespoons of white miso paste. And here's the way I lower the calories and fat in this dish. Instead of heavy cream, I use evaporated milk. It has 1/3 of the calories and half the fat of regular heavy cream. And you can't tell the difference. That was 1/2 cup of evaporated milk. Now add 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan. Stir until the miso paste has melted and everything is mixed together. By now the pasta should almost be done, so reserve 1 cup of the pasta cooking water. And then add 2 cups of broccoli florets. Stir until the broccoli becomes bright green, about 30 seconds. And then drain the broccoli and pasta together and add directly to the mushroom sauce. Stir until everything is coated in the mushroom sauce. Add the reserved pasta water a bit at a time until the sauce becomes smoother and clings to the pasta. Stirring and tossing the pasta helps to emulsify the sauce. To finish this dish, I'm going to add the zest and juice from half a lemon and 1 tablespoon each of chopped fresh thyme and parsley. Now to make this sauce silky smooth, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of butter. And you're done in under 30 minutes. You can find the link to the full printable recipe in the description box below. In the time it takes to cook your pasta, we're going to make pasta with pumpkin, Parmesan cream, crispy sage, and walnuts. In a dry frying pan over medium heat, add 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts. Just toss them around for a minute or so until they get nice and toasty, and then set those aside. Now we're going to make the crispy sage. Over medium heat, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. Get those nice and melty. Add about 10 leaves of fresh sage that are washed and dried. Arrange the leaves in a single layer. We're going to let them get crispy on one side. Then we're going to turn them over to crisp on the other side. This only takes a couple of minutes. Here I'm adding a pinch of salt. Guys, you can see me struggle with these tongs. They did not want to pick up anything. After they're nice and crispy, remove the leaves to a paper towel lined plate. Why am I using these tongs? Blot off any excess oil and butter. I'm switching to my large frying pan over medium heat. Add 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of butter. Let that get nice and melty. Now I'm adding 1 large shallot and 2 cloves of garlic, finely diced. Stir that together and cook until fragrant. Now I'm adding back about half of the crispy sage leaves that I crumbled up and stir them to get coated in the butter. Next, I'm adding 1 cup of pureed pumpkin from a can, not pumpkin pie filling, and stir that together really well. Once that's nice and smooth, add 1 cup of heavy cream. Now I'll whisk that until it's saucy and gorgeous, just like you. Now I'm adding about a 1/4 cup of the pasta cooking water. This will help thicken the sauce. I'll whisk that in until it's really smooth. The last ingredient is 1 cup of grated Parmigiano Reggiano. You could use regular Parmesan or Pecorino or Asiago if that's what you have. Whisk that until the cheese is melted and the sauce is smooth. At this point, if it's looking too thick, you can add a bit more pasta water, but this looks really good. This is 4 servings of cooked linguine pasta. You can use whatever pasta your heart desires. I won't judge. Stir that all together until the sauce is thick and clinging to the pasta, just like my ex. Now let's serve this pasta. This makes about 4 servings, and here's how I would serve it. Top the pasta with toasted walnuts, some chopped fresh parsley, add a little bit more of that delicious grated Parmesan, and chop with some of your crispy sage leaves. Let me know in the comments if you tried this pumpkin pasta recipe and if you liked it. As always, you can find the full printable recipe on my website. The link will be in the description box below. Let's make a quick pesto pasta salad. It only takes 10 minutes to make. First, we're going to slice up 2 cups of grape tomatoes and a handful of fresh basil. Then I'm going to grab a container of fresh mozzarella balls and drain it. Now grab a big salad bowl and add a heaping tablespoon of mayonnaise. Add 1 cup of prepared pesto. Grab your whisk and stir to combine. The mayonnaise will help the sauce stick to the pasta. Now add in 1 pound of cooked short pasta. Add your sliced tomatoes and chopped basil. And your drained mozzarella balls.
That's what she said!
Toss that together until it's completely mixed. Because we added a little bit of mayo to the pesto, the sauce clings to the salad so much better. You can serve the salad right away, or you can cover it and refrigerate it for a couple of hours until you need it. This salad is seriously so versatile. It is very tasty, just like this with the base recipe, but you can customize it how you like. So maybe you want to add some protein. I suggest baby shrimp or shredded chicken, chopped salami, or my favorite, smoked salmon. Some other vegetables you could add to this could be chopped avocado, sun-dried tomatoes, pepperoncinis, or how about some arugula or chopped kale, or even roasted red peppers. The variations are endless. Let me know in the comments what variations you would try. And that's it, the easiest pasta salad you'll ever make. You can find the full printable recipe on my website. The link will be in the description box below. Let's make a summer-themed pasta dish with summer squash, corn, and basil in a delicious lemony white wine sauce. Let's get started. On my way home from work, I stopped by my local farmer's market to pick up some more summer squash. I had harvested a few from my garden and wanted to make a pasta dish, but I didn't have quite enough. I picked up a fun striped zucchini and a couple of teeny patty pan squashes. Also this humongous heirloom tomato and some pretty flowers because self-care. This market is held once a week during the summer, located at a nearby community garden and arboretum. It's so pretty here. I linked the garden in the description box below if you're interested. I got distracted walking around the community garden and eventually made my way home.
Get on with it.
So let's make pasta. These are the squash I'll be cooking for the pasta. My sister gave me this beast of a patty pan squash. And these 3 lemon squash are from my garden. Aren't they cute? The zucchini and the tiny patty pans are from the market. I have way more than I need here, but I'm not sure what I'll find when I cut open the big patty pan and zucchini, so it's good to have enough. First, I'm slicing up some aromatics. Today I'll cut up a shallot and some garlic. The garlic I had ended up being total trash, so I threw it out and had to use garlic instead. I would prefer fresh garlic, but sometimes you gotta improvise. I will also need the zest and juice from 1 lemon. Now I'm going to slice up the squash. These types of summer squash have tender skins, so no need to peel them. Most of them have minimal seeds. I'm going for bite-sized pieces sliced thinly. If you have a mandolin or slicer, you could use that as well. I'd like to add some grated cheese, so I'll grate up about half a cup of Pecorino Romano, because that's what I have. You could also use Parmesan. Last, I'll cut up about 2 tablespoons of roasted red peppers. I'm switching to another cutting board so the pepper oil doesn't stain my wooden board. I'm cutting it into strips. Before I get started, I'm going to toast up a cup of corn kernels in a dry cast iron pan. This is such a summer-themed dish. Wouldn't grilled corn on the cob kernels be so much better? But I don't have any, so this is my substitute. I'm just tossing this over a medium-high heat until the kernels get a little color on them. I'll set those aside and get the pasta going. Now in a large skillet over medium-high heat, add some olive oil, and when that's hot, add your shallot and stir until it starts to wilt. Add the garlic and stir until fragrant. I'm adding about half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Feel free to add more or less. Now I'm adding the last of this white wine. It's about half a cup. Stir and scrape up the brown bits, and when that starts to bubble, you can add the lemon juice. I'm letting it simmer and reduce a bit before I add the squash. These are the 3 types of squash: lemon, patty pan, and zucchini. Once those are in, add salt and pepper. Cook for a couple of minutes until the squash starts to soften. Then add the roasted red pepper, lemon zest, and corn kernels. Stir until those are hot, and then add your cooked pasta, grated cheese, and torn basil leaves. This looks like a lot of pasta because that's what I like, but you go ahead and use less. Stir until the cheese is melted, and it's done. Serve with more torn basil leaves and more cheese if you like. I have a couple of helpers in the kitchen today, so it's time to pay the cheese tax. I put a link to the recipe in the description. Although I wasn't really following a recipe and kind of made it up as I went, so you could easily modify this to suit your taste. Let me know in the comments if you tried it and if you liked it. Let's make sausage and kale pasta featuring hot Italian sausage, kale, and fusilli in a rich sauce. All made in one pan. It's an easy weeknight dinner for when you're short on time. Grab your large pot or pan and let's get started. Over medium heat, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Add 1 package hot Italian sausage. And 1 diced onion. Sauté the sausage and onion until nicely browned. Crumble up the big pieces of sausage. Keep stirring so it doesn't stick. It's looking good now, so I'll add the rest of the ingredients. 2 cups marinara sauce, 2 cups chicken stock, 1 yellow bell pepper that I chopped up, 8 ounces fusilli pasta, 3 cups chopped kale, 3 cloves minced garlic, 1 tablespoon Italian seasoning and half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, 1 tablespoon dried basil leaves. Stir that really well and bring to a boil. Once it's boiling, add salt and pepper. Then reduce the heat to a simmer and cover with a lid. Before I put the lid on, I like to make sure all the pasta is covered with sauce, so it cooks evenly. The dish is done when the pasta is cooked. This could be anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, depending on what pasta you used. Look how saucy it got. Just before serving, stir in half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. You can add some fresh basil at this point, but I didn't have any. You can find the full printable recipe on my website. The link is in the description box below. Well, hello there. Let's make a quick one-pan dinner, creamy chicken and mushroom pasta skillet. It has juicy chicken bites, mushrooms, spinach, and pasta, all in a creamy white wine sauce. Let's get started. First, heat a large skillet over medium-high heat and add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. When that's hot, add 2 chicken breasts cut into bite-sized pieces and season generously with salt and pepper. Cook until the chicken is browned on all sides and almost cooked through, and then remove it to a plate and set aside. To the same skillet, add 1 tablespoon of butter. When that's melted, add the mushrooms and cook until they start to become golden. Season with salt and pepper. When the mushrooms look like this, add 1 diced shallot, 2 cloves of garlic, Cook until that garlic starts to become fragrant and then add half of a red bell pepper thinly sliced. Add 1 tablespoon of each fresh thyme, rosemary, and sage. You can use dried if that's all you have. You could even use 2 tablespoons of poultry seasoning if that's what you have. Keep stirring and cook until the peppers start to soften, about 5 to 8 minutes. And then add a 1/4 cup of dry white wine. Scrape the bottom of the pan to release all those flavors. Return the chicken to the skillet. Add 1½ cups of chicken stock, 1/2 cup of heavy cream. When that starts to bubble and come to a boil, lower the heat to a simmer and add your pasta. This is 6 ounces of mafalda corta, but you can use any shortcut pasta. Other types of shortcut pasta could be penne or rotini or macaroni. I only chose this pasta because they look like tiny baby lasagna noodles. So cute. Anywho, squish this down as much as possible so most of it is covered in sauce. Cook until the pasta is al dente.
So fancy!
About 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your choice of pasta. When the pasta is done, stir in a big handful of chopped spinach leaves. Stir until the spinach starts to wilt, about a minute. Add 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese and 1 tablespoon of butter, and stir until it's melted and smooth. Finish with fresh chopped parsley and more Parmesan. If you'd like to try this recipe, the link is in the description box below. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss when I upload a new recipe. Thanks for watching.